Good morning. Welcome back to the homestead. Well, today is about walls. I need to build walls. You know, they're always telling us to tear down those walls. Well, I've got to build walls for this cottage I'm building. So obviously I need to build 4 walls. And we'll see how far we get. I'm going to be using hammer and nails today. Trying to save the framing nails for when I really, or the nail gun for when I really need it. It's easier to use that when doing the floor framing because we're starting from the ground, from the dirt. These walls I'll be building on the deck that I've already built, or the floor for the cottage I've already built. So I need to gather up some supplies, some tools, that kind of stuff, and then I'll need to go get some lumber and bring it up here where we're going to be working. So, thanks for watching. Let's get to it. But first, I need to uncover it. I did tarp it up when we left, just in case it rained, to protect the floor. So we'll untarp it first, then we'll get on with all that other stuff. One thing they want you to do, if you follow step by step on the directions for the kit, is to, instead of building the walls first, building the rafters. I don't always follow them step by step, but I think I'm going to go ahead and build the rafters first, which means I have to go dig those parts out. All the wall parts I think are already out and underneath the blue tarp, but the rafter parts are underneath the brown tarp. The first thing you have to do, however, is set a jig up on the floor. That's one of the reasons they want you to build the rafters first, because you're going to build everything on the floor. So if you build the walls, the jig's going to be in the way. So, and the jig just consists of 2 2x4 blocks screwed down, but they will be in the way when it comes time to build the walls. So I'm going to go ahead and set the jig up and then go get the rafter pieces so that I can just build the rafters, get that part out of the way. Nothing else. I'll get all 4 walls built and I can put the rafters, just set them on the inside of the building. Building the walls is not just building 4 walls. I mean, it is, but if you remember last time, I had to build the 3 window frames and supports. Those are because those are an integral part of one wall. You also have to build the header and the uprights for the big doors, which of course haven't done yet, but that's all part of building the walls. So it's not just as simple as throwing up 2x4s and siding. There's holes and things that have to be lined up perfectly because the siding is all pre-cut. All the openings are pre-cut. So if you don't build it just like they say on the instructions, things may not line up. Not a huge deal. There's always ways to alter, move things around, trim here, whatever you need to do. But if you get it done perfectly, then everything should line up perfectly. I've yet to be perfect on any of that. But right now I'm going to set the jig up on the floor, and then we'll go get the lumber and bring it over here. Cool little gadget, I thought. Slips on the bit for your drill driver. It's a magnet, and on the inside is spring loaded. So you put the screw on and slide it up, and it holds the screw in place. And then it only lets the screw go down just so deep. It broke on the second screw. Not so cool little gadget. Oh well. can't seem to find the nail plates for the headers or rafters. I'm thinking they got mistaken for exterior siding pieces or trim pieces of some sort because they're made out of the siding and not out of just straight chipboard. So they're probably under the other side. So I'll have to dig in over there next. Okay, we had to work for it, but we got our pieces. We'll be digging through this pile a lot as we move along. After I get done with the rafters, we'll build the wall frame. Then we need to get the sheeting for the wall, which is right on top. It's what I just put back on there. So, shouldn't be too difficult. But, let's get on with moving the material over there and start setting up our first 2 or 3 rafters until we move the jig. Okay, we had to readjust the jig for the dormer rafters. Different roof pitch configuration on each side. The one side follows the original pitch, the other side has its own, a lot shallower for the dormer to come out. This one's a little different. There's only a gusset on one side of the next 2. They only give you 2 gussets. So one's on the inside, one's on the outside. So this one here, I'm gonna take the one gusset, screw it in with 4 or 6 screws to hold the boards in place, flip it over, then nail off the permanent gusset, flip it back over, pull that gusset off, pull the screws out, and then finish the last one. That's my plan. Okay, that does it for the roof rafter portion of this build. On to the walls. Alright, I took a little break, got some fluids in me, little munchies. Anyway, it's time to start getting some lumber for the walls. One of the things we have to do first is build the header assembly for the end gable door. It's the big double doors. So you have to build a header assembly so that the roof and the walls and stuff don't sag right there. It's just 3 pieces of wood, this piece of MDF board, and 2 2x4s. That's what makes up the header. We also need to get the studs for that wall. So let's go find them. So the 5 blocks that I have down there are nailed through on the top, but they have to be toe nailed into the header from the side, which makes the board want to do this. You can only hold it so well. So I'm going to use a clamp to hold the block from going sideways. I'm also going to pre-drill part way through, that way the nail heads in the right direction and doesn't change its mind before it gets into the header. So that's what I'm doing with extra tools. Alright, that junky block that I just put in there on the very bottom, it's a temporary block. It's just there to keep the bottom together so that I can square it up and get the paneling nailed down. Once it's installed, both of those ends of the 2x4 will actually get cut away completely. But it's to hold the bottom together so it doesn't do this while we're moving it putting the siding on it, all of that stuff. Speaking of siding, I think that's next. Okay, we finished the wall, the one we were working on. It's the gable wall with the made out setup for the double doors. You can see it behind me here because I moved it over and leaned it up against that cottage there along with the trusses. So it'll be staged and ready for when we need to put it up and stand it up and put it in place. But for now, we're calling it a night. Thank you for watching. God bless you. We'll see you next time on the homestead. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share it with your friends, and by goodness, leave us a comment. Bye-bye now.